Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Not That Complicated. It's Tasia.
Jametra.
And Morgan.
And we are back with an episode talking all about toxicity. And we're just gonna delve into it to see, everyone's toxic once in a while. So, we just gotta
Not me.
Yes, everyone is toxic, okay?
We all
You have been toxic at one point in your life or a couple of points in your life. So, Miss Ma'am, we're gonna unpack these things. But if you're new to the show, we like to start off each episode with the lows and the highs of our week. So, who would like to start off with their low?
I'll go first because my low is another stupid one about work. It's just, I don't understand why people who think that just because they have more degrees than you lack common sense. They're treating us like we're stupid. And I don't understand it. They think that they have some kind of secret info that none of us have. And so they can push their agenda. But we're just like, we ain't dumb. We see what's happening. We see this and we're not going for it. Right. We see each other. So I'll let y'all know what happened next week because we staging a coup tomorrow.
I'm dead. I can't wait to hear how this goes. Sorry. I'm ready. All right. Morgan, you have a low of the week?
Okay, so I've been dealing with a very unprofessional Black business for a very long time. I would say about 8 months at this point. And it bothers my soul because I hate when I'm trying to support a Black business and I'm trying to pour money into other Black households and it backfires. Because, we do need to spend money in our community. But girl, I've had to deal with basically having to chase behind someone to get answers when they have my money. And that is a very low experience for me. So it's reaching its pinnacle pretty much right now. So that is my low of the week. Because I'm fed up and my cup is about to run it over, okay? I'm done. So that's my low. I'm going to have to think about a high. Because, girl.
It's taking over.
That's my low.
I would say my low of the week was just too damn hot this weekend. Literally could not do anything in Dallas because you would sweat your skin off. And you just had to get everything done in the morning. Even at 10 o'clock, it was 88 degrees. What the hell?
That's unnecessary.
That is unnecessary. What? Oh, no, thank you. So I was just over it. And right now I think it's already 100 degrees. It's 102. I apologize.
It's been really hot here, actually. It's when I get in my car for the past few days, it really be 101, 102. I'm like, girl, whoa. We need to bring it back down.
Yes.
Because you're going a little too hard.
Yes. All right. So highs of the week. Who's next? No one? Okay. I'll go. My high of the week was it kind of relates to my last high, but getting more responsibility at work. It's both of my bosses, they just be coming to me with things, and they're just oh, Jada, you should do this, you should do that. I'm just thank you guys for thinking so highly of me and my work that you come to me and tell me to translate these things over to other team members. Or you think that I can handle all this extra, these extra responsibilities? I greatly appreciate it, and it corresponds with my raise. So hell yeah. So that's my top high of the week.
Ain't nothing happened for me or to me.
Guys, come on. We have to be thankful for something, at least one thing, even something small. Okay, everybody's high for the week is that they woke up. Woo! We're alive and we're breathing. Woo! We got jobs. Woohoo! I
don't want mine.
Oh, goodness.
Well, she got one. All right. So we're going to go into our pop culture / current event. Does anyone have one up that they want to talk about?
Oh, we got our... Oh, no. That one's going to be last because that's going to go into what we're talking about for the show. She's saying to me, we got to talk about how Miss Ari got her a Lambo truck from her man. I want a man to buy me a Lambo.
Energy. The energy.
That was nice.
Like, damn.
The execution.
Yeah, that was nice.
Action without just the words. Okay.
Yes.
And then you want to put the roses in the back for the romance? I have decided to stand. Now, I've said a few things about him back in the day just because, you know, he don't really have a neck like that. But.
Yeah, and his face ain't all that. But.
He's like Michael Myers.
But
he is.
But he came through with the Lambo, so hey. Who cares?
And the
whole gesture, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like the afterthought of the rose. Let's put 1,000 roses in the backseat for my girl. Like let's add some balloons in the car. Let's make this special.
Yes. Come through, Mikael. Yes, I love it.
What's his name?
Oh no, I just called him Mikael, like Michael Myers. You never seen that video on Twitter when the little boy had his grandma wig on? She said Mikael Myers. I never seen Michael Myers look like that.
No, I didn't see that. And then so all of that. Ari got her a Lambo truck. Why this man says Moneybag bought Ari a lamb truck. G Herbo bought his girl a Benz truck. I just bought my old lady something to eat. Shit, black men ain't bullshit. And so then he went to have a whole bunch of men saying what they've done, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Y'all not on the same plane.
Well, I mean, okay, in their defense, I don't think the everyday man can just buy someone a car. So I think what he was getting at is like, we're on the trend of black men appreciating their black women. Yes,
the food.
It's not the same.
No,
it's not the same.
Food is not a gift. Food is not a gift.
Some women it might be.
I understand.
If so, then I need them to bring them standards up because food is not a gift.
Yeah, it ain't. But I get what he was trying to do. I don't think it was appropriate because then, Mr. Chance the Rapper, in all of his trying to go, you know, I don't know. This was like in the midst of him talking about voting for Kanye. He quote retweeted this Moneybag bought Ari, I bought my girl, all this. He talking about something, we go hard for them. You trying to tell us to vote for Kanye?
Like, shut the hell up. Please.
Now, maybe that's what turned me off to his tweet because
I don't like that.
I saw it from Chance and I was like,
Chance. And then let's not act like just because a couple of rappers are doing this, let's not try to phrase this like y'all be going hard for baby mamas because y'all don't.
What money?
Just a couple weeks ago, y'all was talking about baby mamas and how women just aspire to be rappers, baby mamas, and y'all was talking down on them and all of this. Mm-hmm. So let's.
And very close to the situation, Moneybag ain't get his baby mama shit. She was on the internet crying. She was trying to hold back tears because she had to see. She was on live. I didn't watch the whole thing, but she was pretty upset that Ari got a lamb truck.
Oh, she was bitter.
Okay. Yeah. Dang. So she ain't got shit from it but some kids that she probably ain't want.
That's why, you know, just don't even bother. Ladies, just don't bother.
Yeah. So they can't say they go hard for him because she was with Moneybag before Moneybag was Moneybag, and what was she getting?
Exactly.
Nothing. An ass to kiss.
And he can't even get her something now that he came up. Well, I'm not gonna say he might have gotten, but like apparently based off her reaction, he has not. So
yeah,
Mr. Yo, I need you to correct
buy your baby mama something so she can
make her feel good.
Even
she's taking care of your kids.
CLA 250 something.
Right, she gonna be happy with a regular Mercedes. You don't got to get her no lamb truck. She don't need a Bentley.
Damn. Like, niggas.
I just hate when dudes be coming on the TL trying to act like they're small, minuscule day-to-day stuff be adding up to what these celebrities be doing. It's like, cool, you want to feel proud of yourself, but know your lane and
That's why I don't know why they even
like, you should have just sat there
to the celebrity.
Like, for you to
You should have just left them out.
Internet, you got on Beyonce's internet and bragged about buying your girl food.
One guy did was like, oh, I just paid for my girl's last semester in nursing school. I'm like, that's appreciated.
That is apples to apples. Okay,
we're no claps for getting you a 4 for $4. This is
4 for $4.
I got her some jazzy wings.
Jazzy wings with some extra ranch and a kid's mac and cheese with extra cheese and a lemonade with light ice. You ain't getting a clap for that either. You're getting a thank
No. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. That's all you're getting. Okay, bye.
Y'all high maintenance.
I'm just come on. Come on.
It ain't. I agree.
To live, girl. That's a necessity.
Right.
And if you my man,
bare minimum,
man of mine, you should already be buying my food without me having to ask.
Stay feeding you.
You should. Have you eaten today?
Right.
You need me to catch up with something for lunch? I mean, I don't really need you to. But, you know, if it appears.
And that's where that quote unquote people be saying relationship weight comes from, happy weight. No, it's just because that nigga be feeding you, stuffing food down your face. Here you go. And just be like, God damn, nigga, I just had a burrito 20 minutes ago.
Everything y'all do, you want to go eat? You be like, okay. You want to go?
Let me throw on some clothes real quick. What's the
right. They be like, you want to go eat? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Nachos.
Right.
Okay. All right. So, Morgan, do you have one?
Well, mine was in.
Oh, yeah, you said you. Yeah, okay. So mine isn't necessary. Mine kind of ties into Jametra's Chance the Rapper. I just want him to shut the hell up. I want celebrities all just to stick to what they're good for. I'm tired of hearing their opinions. I'm never asking a celebrity for their opinion ever again because they get out of hand and they don't know how to shut up. Between him and Meek Mill, I'm losing my mind.
What Meek Mill say?
Meek Mill he's a gossiping ass nigga. He was on here talking about the Jada and Will thing and everybody was like, here he come. He is like a woman. Every time I see him tweet about something that's going on the timeline, it's like different than other people. Like you can tell his is coming from a gossipy place. And every time I see him tweet, I be thinking of Nene. You need to stay out of women's business.
She said, you need to stop acting like a damn bitch.
Music gets suspenseful.
And that's just automatically what I think of. But also, hold on, let me pull the tweet up. This is like a quick question. I saw this and it sparked my, interest. So someone tweeted, would you be a side piece for $4,000 a week?
No.
I'm going to tell you right now, yes, I would. $4,000 a week?
Question?
Sign me the hell up. Side piece, do you know, side piece has to do the minimum. Like,
literally.
I'm not your girlfriend, so I don't got to do all that. I'm literally just there for fun. You want to go on a vacation because your girlfriend is boring as hell and she just wants to watch movies? Hell yeah, let's go on a vacation.
Right. And you pissed at your girl, so you want to go get drinks? Okay. Girl.
Yeah, come on, let's go.
I don't gotta deal with nothing.
And okay, does the girlfriend
don't have to deal with anything
in this scenario?
I don't know.
I don't care.
Because $4,000 at that point, I will be Helen Keller to the bullshit, huh?
Exactly.
Oh,
what is this? Look, right? She going to jail. What that?
You're going to hell.
Like, she crossing her fingers. Listen,
be like, don't know the word girlfriend.
I don't think Helen was walking around like this. I really don't. I don't.
No.
$4,000, Morgan, every week? That's a lot.
That does. And that covers my rent off rent.
Yeah. Literally in 1 week.
On 1 week.
And if you got to do part-time a week, then you could just get half of it and then your rent's still covered. That's a lot of money.
That is.
God.
So you're genuinely telling me right now, Morgan, you're not going to be a side piece for $4,000 a week? What is your price then? Because I need to know. Do I need to
have a price? I cannot knowingly be a side chick. Like it just
girl
right with me.
You can just say you guys are friends. That's essentially what a side
y'all
chick
are friends.
is. Y'all just friends.
Nah, if a nigga taking me out on trips, we not friends.
Y'all just friends.
Because you already know you a side chick, so you not finna get all into it with your emotions and your feelings. You here for a check. I'm here for my $4,000. Yes, I am here for a good time. And I'm gonna collect my check until this thing in. Then I'm be like, all right, see ya.
Please. Bye, deuces. Like
literally. But there's
really can't
also
believe
the factor that like I'm opening myself up for me to be for like this to happen to me in the future. It's just too much. It's too much.
Listen,
if my karma gods are gonna respect it.
Like
if my man
karma gods are gonna respect it.
A great person, and then that karma.
Listen, if my man is offering somebody $4,000, one, he got it like that. So he's taking care of me and I don't got to go to work. Two, I want this girl to take that $4,000. She needs the $4,000. I would not be mad if somebody.
No, I'm not on that rip.
If somebody told you, so you just gonna.
If my boyfriend said he wants someone to be his side chick and he'll pay $4,000,
no. I'm not saying he come to you and ask you, can I do it? I'm saying like if I find out at the end of the day, I can't be mad at the girl because I'm gonna just be like,
no, I wouldn't be mad because I'd be like, girl, same. I would have agreed.
I can't be mad at her because I'd be like, I would have done the same thing, sister. I'm still mad at him.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And I'm gonna take more of his money. No.
Right, yeah. No.
I'm not mad at her.
And the karma guys are gonna understand. They're like, that's different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, you just not falling in love just for love.
No, I've been a side chick before on accident.
Yeah, those are always the worst.
And
those are always the worst.
It was for free. Like,
that's why I feel like you should be compensated.
Exactly.
And
especially for those accidental ones.
Like, we all went to school together. And I was just like, how did I miss this? Like,
damn. He did not care. He did not care at all.
It wasn't a big school, so I'm just like,
he did not care.
You're bold. Okay. Very bold.
Niggas is trash, man. Niggas is trash. Okay, well, I guess we can get into the episode, get right down to the nitty-gritty. Mm-hmm. So, as you can see by the title, like I said, it's all about toxicity today. We're stirring the pot. So I'm going to ask each one of you guys, what does toxic mean to you? Like, of course, there's a Webster dictionary, definition, but who really cares about that? What does it mean to you? Because this frames how you answer all the other questions that I have.
For me, when I think of a toxic person, I think of someone who is leeching off of me in some instance. It may not be like financially or anything, but like you could be leeching my energy, my positive energy. You could be only subtracting from my life and never bringing anything into it. If you only bring out negative emotions for me, if you can never take accountability for anything that you do, like that's all for me a sign that I need to subtract you out of my life. Happily. Gotta go.
That's what I was gonna say too. Pretty much you're toxic if every time you come around you're disturbing my peace. I'm not able to just be me because here you come on some fuck shit.
I agree with all of those. And so like Morgan said, leeching, parasitic, like characteristics. No, thank you. And like Morgan said, bring the negative. Like if I find myself coming out of my character on a frequent basis, no, thank you. No, thank you. And selfish characteristics as well. Like there's times and place to be selfish, but like if you are just a genuinely selfish person, like all you think about is you, for me, that's quite toxic.
Gotta go.
Yeah.
Decent. No, thank you. Yeah. All right. So my next question is, have you ever, I don't even know why I asked this. Have you ever been the toxic person? If yes,
no.
If so, why? But I'm going to rephrase that.
We've
all been, exactly. I'm going to rephrase that because I know that we've all been toxic people. So, yes, Miss Jametra. Okay. So I'm going to instead ask, can you give an example of when you were that toxic person? And how have you, what did you learn? Or do you still feel like what you did was not toxic and you're going to keep doing it? Sounds like Jametra's on that. She trash.
I'm going to give you time to come up with your honest answer. So I'll go first. I would say, like, me overall in a relationship, I've never been like the toxic person that's like bringing the relationship down, but I have noticed that I can have some toxic traits. And I noticed that Tasia was dragging me about this like 2 weeks ago. I have the ability, I have since stopped, but I have the ability to be very emotionally manipulative to men on purpose. And I don't use my powers on my friends. Like, I would never try to emotionally sabotage powers. I mean, yeah, because I know I have the ability. Like, I would never do it to like my friends or anything. But a guy? Oh, please, you stand no chance. So I respect you, man. So, like, a way in which I can be emotionally manipulative is if, let's say, my man comes to me about something I did that bothered him or hurt his feelings. 15 minutes later, he's apologizing to me. And I just know how to do that. So I noticed that about myself since I've been single for a little over 2 years. Like, I did a lot of inward growth and learning about myself. And I was like, I need to stop. I need to only use my powers for good. So I think that that's like a big toxic trait that I had in all of my relationships. Not all.
That's good. Yeah. That's good that you're self-aware. That's really good. Yes, we strive for self-awareness around here. I actually have 2 examples. My first one is I was telling Jametra about this. So at one point in my life, I was like on this just doing whatever the hell I wanted to do.
You were living that whole life. Yeah, you were living.
Yes, exactly.
Just say that.
So there's this one guy that I knew from like back in high school, and he had like somehow we reconnected. I think it was like via Instagram or something, and we started texting. So for me, it was like, as Morgan says, it was a joke. Like, I was just kicking, and like I wasn't really like into it like that. But he got more into it than I was, and I started to realize, and I was like, oh, no, thank you. So long story short, he essentially was like, oh, I'm going to come to Baton Rouge. And I was like, huh? And at the time, his sister lived there as well. And I was like, oh, like when it came closer to when he was coming, I was like, oh yeah, you're going to be staying at your sister's house, like, blah, 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 or something like that. Knowing that he wanted to stay at my house. And I was like, no, thank you. And he was like, oh no, I told you my sister is out of town. Like, I told you that weeks ago. And I was like, oh, really? So like, where you gonna be at? And essentially when he came, I stopped texting him. I did not text him. I'm sorry. I did not text that man. Sorry to that man. I was like,
not sorry. You were not sorry.
And he texted, he was like, hey, I'm in New Orleans. If I got a hotel, like if you want to come, blah, blah, blah. Did not text that man. And I'm laughing now.
Trash.
I'm laughing now because that was messed up. And since then, I have apologized.
You did?
Yeah, I apologized to him. Yeah, I let him, because he like messaged me sometime. I think I posted something on Instagram and he messaged me. And I was like, I do want to extend an apology
for being trash.
For my actions.
For lack thereof.
Yeah, and I was like, sorry. And he accepted the apology or whatever. But also that kind of goes into my second one, is like not necessarily a specific example, but just more of a trait that I have of mine, is that I wouldn't say I hold grudges, but
Real Virgo girl.
People tell you like, oh, forgive and forget, you have to learn forgiveness, and I'm just letting you know right now, that shit is hard. I don't care what they tell you. Oh my gosh, forgiveness, you'll feel
not that hard.
Yes, it is. Well, for me it is, because this is how
it's not hard for me. I'm not gonna forget, but
for me, I would say having true forgiveness for someone is when I am no longer moved by the situation. If someone brings up that person's name or the situation or anything relative to it, I don't feel any type of way. I literally feel no feelings. Then that's how I know I have truly forgiven. And I've noticed in certain situations or in past relationships that I said that I forgave them, or that I believed I forgave them. But like it would come up and I'd be like, "You a bitch ass nigga! Oh my gosh, you trash!" Blah 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 blah. And I just realized, well, sister, if you forgave, why are you doing all of this? So it led me to believe that I really do not forgive, and I'm working on it.
I am so happy that you were able to acknowledge that, because I've seen the explosions in person, guys. Listen, real Virgo girl tease. Okay.
I don't think this is necessary.
Yeah. That's the more moving one for me, the explosions. This is really like, can we not do this? Can we? Huh?
Girl, what is this?
Like, do you need a nap? Like a snack? What?
We really just be like, everybody else in the room just be looking at each other like,
I mean, okay.
Right. Jametra, it was cute that you tried to deflect and everything, but what's your toxic trait?
Listen, I don't think it's that bad. Okay?
Of course you don't. It is, but what is it?
Listen, sometimes I decide that I don't want to talk to people anymore. This could be friendships, girlfriends, boyfriends, anybody, daddy. I decide I don't want to talk to them, and I will not talk to them. I will not say anything. They will never hear from me again. And
you're a ghoster.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I've done it a lot. I still do it. I'm actually currently doing it to my dad because I don't want to talk to this man.
Okay.
I don't want to talk to him.
For ghosting, because I've ghosted people before, but I had a reason.
I mean, in my mind, I have a reason. They probably don't be that big of a reason. Like, it might not warrant a ghost, but I just be like, okay, bye. And I never talk to them. Here's one, for example. I was friends with this girl in college, and one time she wanted to flat iron my hair. So I was like, all right. I went to her dorm, let her flat iron my hair.
This don't sound like it's going well.
I let her flat iron my hair. But then halfway through our flat iron, we were like, oh man, there's this event happening on campus. We want to go. So now I got half curly hair, half not curly, but like half blown out hair, half flat iron hair. And she was like, oh, just wear this hat. And then we went to the thing. All right. So I wear the hat, and I don't think she ever finished flat ironing my hair. I think I just finished it myself. I don't know what happened with my hair flat iron. But time goes by. Literally months go by. This girl then out of nowhere messages me. This whole time we have been talking, we have been cool, we've been friends. She out of nowhere messages me. Granted, I still had her hat. I forgot about the hat. She didn't say anything else about the hat. I wasn't wearing the hat or anything. I just forgot that I had it. And she randomly messaged me and was like, hey, can you get me a hat? And I was like, what? She was like, can you give me a new hat because you wore my other hat? And it was a polo hat. I don't know how much they cost, but so she was like, can you give me a new hat because you wore my other hat?
The one that you get me to wear? Okay.
And to this day, I have never talked to her again because I think it was for a holiday or something. And
yeah, I think she asked you that was her Christmas present or something.
Yeah, and I buy my friends gifts, and I buy them exactly what they asked for. And so I just felt like, girl, what? She was like, yeah, you should buy me a hat because you were wearing my other one and you never gave it back. And I was like, I would give you the hat back, but buying you one, not happening now. And I have not spoken to her ever again. As soon as that message came to my phone, I was like, out of here. I have not.
Ghosted.
Like I used to see her on campus, and I act like I didn't see her. Don't play with me.
I'm not mad at that. I don't ghost like friends. Well, no. Anytime I've fallen out with a friend, I let them know why I wasn't messing with them anymore. A guy, I don't really feel like I owe them much, so that's my story.
Yeah, I ghost niggas all the time.
Yeah, same. And I know people say ghosting is bad, and I'm trying to get to the point where I'm no longer ghost, but I don't think it's that bad, man. I feel like you just have to take your L's and strides.
I feel like here's the thing, like if I'm to the point where I want to ghost you, then clearly things aren't going that well. So you shouldn't be taken off guard like that. Like if we vibing and we laughing and things are cool, I'm not gonna ghost you. So clearly something wrong, or is we really not vibing like that? So why are you acting shocked and finding me on social media trying to talk to me or trying to email me? I don't like that.
I don't like that.
I got an email before, and I'm just like, how did you?
Yeah, and you can't block people emails.
You gotta set their email as spam.
I ain't think of that one.
Next question, pal.
Next question, please. So how do you handle? Well, okay, no, let me backtrack. So, have you ever dealt with a toxic person in any realm? This is a platonic or a romantic,
of course,
or an acquaintance, work, anything. Okay, so how do you handle these toxic relationships?
I think I handle it differently depending on who it is to me.
Yeah, that's
how I am in life in general. I'm a different person to everyone in my life depending on the dynamic. If it's a toxic nigga,
go.
I'm sorry. Especially if we're not in a relationship, don't even text me back at this point. Block me back, okay? Please. If it's a friend and they're toxic, they would have had to become toxic because I wouldn't become friends with someone who's showing toxic traits. So my first point of action would be to communicate and just say, hey, I'm noticing this in our friendship, because I try to give my friends a chance. I wouldn't just cut somebody I call a friend off, off of one strike because girl, you really wouldn't have no friends. People mess up. So I try to communicate, and I've had this happen before. I've had people that were literally my best friends do me dirt. Case in point, right? I had a friendship in high school. I'm not gonna I'm gonna go another route. So I had a friend group in high school, and it was 4 of us, and we were literally inseparable. Every day we spent together. All we did was talk to each other. Everybody knew us as a group. And a week before homecoming, I was gonna go to homecoming with he was my ex-boyfriend at the time, but we were talking and possibly gonna get back together. Cool. I find out in chemistry class, it was the final 10 minutes of school, and I was about to, after school, we had plans to go to the mall. Me and my friend group. Okay. Chemistry class, my friend Cassidy, the cheerleader, walks up to me and she says, did you know, I'm gonna give them fake names. So let's say the girl I'm talking about, her name is
Sasha.
Samantha.
Okay.
And the guy's name is David. Okay.
Carl. Okay.
All right. So she was like, did you know that Samantha slept with Carl last week? Had sex with him? And I was like,
no, I did not, Cassidy.
My Samantha? The one that my Samantha? The one I'm about to go to the mall with? And she was like, Yeah. So I was like, okay, bet. Mind you, everybody been smiling. It's like Friday at this point. So everybody been smiling in my face all week. Like nothing ever happened. And they all knew because it happened at another girl in the friend group's house. And not to mention, this was Samantha breaking her virginity. Like this wasn't no, like, on a whim. Like she literally broke her virginity with my ex-boyfriend who I'm currently talking to. So I meet up with them and I'm just like,
So what's up?
so what's up? Like, what is this? And the girl whose house it happened at was more apologetic than the friend who really like betrayed me. Like when I brought it up, she was like, how'd you find out? Meanwhile, the girl whose house it happened at is like crying, like, oh my gosh, Morgan, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just like, okay. Okay. And long story short, like I had a conversation with each of them and I was just like, I'm really disappointed in all of y'all because y'all call yourselves my friends and y'all would let this happen. And not only would you let this happen, but you would smile in my face and not communicate with me and be honest with me. And after that, all of those, like my friendship with all of them was pretty much done. And what I did, like I communicated before it was all over. And I just feel like that was my first real experience with like toxic friendships and like having, like that was my first time breaking up with a friend. Mm-hmm. And it was like hard, obviously, because they were like, that was my people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
that's wild.
Yeah, that was my first like, toxic.
Especially in high school? What?
Like, damn. My gosh.
Y'all, the book I'm gonna write about my life is really gonna be hitting, okay?
And it's crazy because that's what I knew you were going to talk about when you were like, oh yeah, and that's the situation I was thinking of.
Because listen.
Oh yeah, there's also another one that was in the back of my head, but that was like the first one I thought of. I was like, hopefully she tells this one because that's intense.
I sadly have many stories of betrayal, but y'all will all read about it
in her memoir.
In my memoir.
Okay. I'll say for me with friends, it depends. If I want, because I can forgive people. So that's not an issue for me. So if I want to stay friends with you, I'm going to go to you and I need an apology. That's just point blank, period. I need an apology and then we can move on from there or we cannot. If you don't want to apologize, then fine, we don't have to be friends ever again. But if I don't want to be your friend again, I just won't talk to you. And I'll act like I don't know you. I've done it.
That's wild because the conversation I had with the girl who like literally betrayed me, I was like, she didn't even apologize. Like she was not remorseful. And that was why I was kind of just like, okay, I can't do this. Like you're not even sorry that you did this to me. So at this point, we have nothing to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Homegirl was a savage.
Yeah, no.
Thank.
That's the one thing I do know is I need an apology. And it has to be a sincere apology. And then I can move on. If you don't give me an apology, then I will never talk to you again. There's nothing for us to talk about.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't need an apology to forgive you. Like I forgave her before. Like she's to this day never apologized to me. Or like my ex, when in the last episode when we talked about like me finding out about his kid, like I forgave him before we ever had a conversation about it. Cause that's just where I was. And yeah, like you don't have to apologize for me to forgive you. It's gonna be a different process to forgiveness, but I'm gonna get around to it, whether you apologize or not.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't necessarily need an apology to forgive, but that also means I'm not forgiving, if that makes sense. Because even if you do give me the apology, that doesn't necessarily that also doesn't mean that I'm gonna forgive you either. Because you give me
the apology. Also don't say sorry.
She does not, y'all.
I don't. I honestly don't believe in saying sorry.
But you need to.
She does not.
No, because I feel like anybody can literally, people will say, oh, I'm sorry to anything. And I feel like sorry has lost its value. I'd much rather change my action. Because whenever someone says sorry, it's just like, I feel like a lot of times it's just out of human nature are like a reflex, like, oh, I'm so sorry, and they don't genuinely mean I'm sorry.
No.
So for me, because I know I don't like when people give me half-ass sorries, I'd rather not do that to someone, and I'd rather change my action. And of course, if someone genuinely was like, no, I really want you, like, what you did, it hurt me, then of course I'm gonna apologize for that. But genuinely just saying I'm sorry,
But then
no,
that's
I'd rather just change them. I just rather change my action for you to see that I do care.
Say she needed an apology to forgive. She just said that, didn't she?
Yeah,
No, I didn't.
And then
Morgan, you know, when we got in that fight and I drove all the way back to Georgia, I had to call her. I was like, bitch, apologize to me. Say sorry.
No, hold on, wait, no.
That was
the only reason, the reason why I didn't call her was because I feel like that was suffocating. We had already had like a huge blowout. I'm not going to call someone when they're already at a high, because I know I was still at an intense level. So I feel like you need time, especially situations like that. Everyone needs time
How
to
much
mellow out and get it. It had only been like a week. I thought that was like a good enough time for everyone to sit back and think about everything.
I thought, damn, that was good. I drove all the way back to Georgia in the middle of the night, and she didn't know if I was dead or alive.
I checked your location.
She didn't know if I was dead or alive.
I was like, dramatic. I knew she made
every day, I was like, this bitch is not gonna call and apologize to me. Then I was like,
Jametra is the most stubborn person I have ever.
It wasn't even me being stubborn. I genuinely thought it was too soon, and I thought it would come off not genuine. Like
a week,
immediately, like
a week. Yeah, I feel like that's a long time.
Is a week a long time?
To let something just sit there?
I can see if it was a month. Honestly, I thought a week was a good enough time because you had made it back home. I'm sure you were thinking about it. I was thinking about it. Get all the thoughts together because I didn't want the apology or the conversation to be an angry conversation. I didn't want that. So I know that I, as a person, need to mellow out so it can be a productive conversation. I thought that was a short period of time.
That was a long time, and that was why I didn't talk to you for a long time, because I was like, I had to call her and tell her to apologize to me.
See, and this is my first time hearing this. I thought she was fine with the week.
No, why would I call you and tell you, hey, you need to apologize to me? I remember I had to tell you to apologize.
Because my thing was, it wasn't that I was never going to apologize. I was just giving both parties time to cool off. Because this wasn't like, for everybody listening, this wasn't like a simple, like, we got into an argument. Because before this, me and Jametra never really got into big blowouts. We might have been like, girl, you get on my nerves, blah, blah, blah. But this was like our actual first big blowout. So for us, this was new in our territory as a friendship. So I thought it was best, like, let's just cool off, because that's how we initially got into the blow up. We didn't give each other time to cool off in that moment because we were drunk. There was a lot going on. There was other parties involved. There was just,
which is also why I think that's also why I think you should have did it faster, because I was at the end, I was like, we was on some drunk shit. Like I chucked it up to that. And so I'm like, once you sober, get it together. Cause look, I can see a day, because as soon as I woke up, I went to sleep for like an hour in my car. And then as soon as I woke up, I was still mad and I drove all the way home. So a day, maybe. But a week, that's a lot.
Okay, so now I know. I mean, I don't foresee us ever anything happening like that again, or I'm not putting that in the air for anything to happen like that again. But now I know if anything ever happens in our friendship, you would prefer it to happen sooner rather than later. No, because I don't like that. Because I mean, when I used to get in arguments with my past relationship, I did not like when someone was like, okay, let's talk. We need to talk about it right now. I'm like, dude, give me some space. Back up. Like, I don't want to talk about it right now. I don't want to be bothered. So leave me the hell alone. And I keep telling you, I don't want to be bothered. So leave me the hell alone. So that was like my due to like past
y'all live
circumstances.
Together. Like,
no, it's not even that.
Every day.
Even that. It's just like in general, like even when my little brother does it, like I'm like, Jameer, back up. Like, give me some space. Like, you cannot force me to talk about something right now. I do not want to talk about it. So that was where I was coming from with it. But I mean, now I know. A week is too long. Okay, got it.
Next.
Literally, next. Talking to her is like talking to a fucking brick wall, y'all.
Next.
That is not true.
Wall.
My future husband can be listening to this, and you over here painting me as a brick wall.
Hopefully you grow before he meets you.
Baby, that ain't true. I'm not a brick wall.
Next question.
That was actually my last question.
Next.
That was like the last main question. Yeah.
Now y'all want to talk about because we got about like we probably go for another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Y'all want to talk
about the main thing that we can talk about dealing with toxic people is Miss Jada, Will, and Mr. August because they were doing a lot.
So whose side are y'all on? Whose side are y'all
I'm on the side of the truth. Wherever Jesus is at, that's where I am. Because
let's say whatever happened is the truth. Let's say this is the story we're going with. Jada and Will was broken up. August took that as, oh, Will cool. Me and Jada could date. We could be smashing. We can do all of that. So they started smashing. Then Jada decides. Yeah, they got entangled. Okay. Then, and I would say they were doing more than having sex. They were I'm like, Will, they were in a relationship. They was boyfriend and girlfriend.
An entanglement. He said a relationship.
Right. Because whether she liked him or not, he liked her like that, and that was his girlfriend.
He loved her.
Right. So they had their relationship, and then she decided, oh no, I'm gonna go back to my man, but I want you to still be my friend. Mm-hmm. And then August was like, friend? No. And then ghosted her. Exactly. And so now they back together. And then he wrote a song about her and then aired her out. Like it was all a part of his big plan to air her out after ghosting her. Mm-hmm. So that's our story if we're going with it. Yes. Whose side are you on?
I would say I don't really necessarily have a side because I feel like I don't really, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think anyone was really wrong in the situation because from my understanding, Will and Jada have an open relationship. So it's hard. I can see why people say, oh my gosh, this is so wrong. But you guys those people that are saying that are thinking of it in a monogamous relationship type of way. They are not. They are ethically polygamous. Like they let each other know like, hey, we doing this. We got this going on. But they're not strictly with each other. So for me,
the one thing about polygamy is not like, oh, we got a man and then we got sides. That's not polygamy.
No.
Polygamy is when we all are living the same lifestyle. Let's say this is like back in the day. We all sister wives, we all got one husband. Our husband bought us all a house and is taking care of all of us equally. It's not like, oh, me and him together, but he come and see y'all sometimes on the side and he might help y'all, he might not. It's not like that. It's we all equal in this thing. That's what
I kind of beg to differ. I feel like that's
literally what it is.
No, I'm just saying. I think like in modern times it has changed because this one lady that I watched, she was on a podcast that I listened to. Her name is Shan Booty, and her Booty with the D.
I know.
Her and her now husband, they had an open relationship kind of situation. And what I've learned from this same podcast, they also happen to have a lot of people that are in open relationships, polygamous relationships, and it's more so, I know specifically what she said is that you have a boyfriend, but you also have these people that are there for certain aspects in your relationship that person doesn't offer. So like maybe the boyfriend that she has is extremely romantic, but she can have a girlfriend that is more understanding or listens to her, someone that she just enjoys being around in the company, and then another boyfriend that is just a funny person to be around, those kind of things. Like each person serves a different purpose for her relationship and what she needs in relationships. So that's why I kind of think that the modern day polygamy has changed a little bit. It's not what we think of when we saw the TV show Sister Wives all the times. It's different. And I don't like the word sister wives. That's just weird. Because if we're wives, we do not need to be sisters. That's very weird. That's disgusting. But yeah. So I don't think anyone was wrong. I think what was wrong is the way Jada phrased it, and the way I feel like from the outside looking in, the way things played out, it was wrong on her end. Because if this becomes your man, somebody you just smashing, why is he going on family vacations with y'all and be so cool with your son? That right there is weird to me,
wasn't it? Because like when he first came around, it was a family thing. I think it escalated to something else later down the line. So like him going on vacations with them, I don't necessarily think that was during the entanglement. I just think that was when he first came around.
When he was introduced,
the family was like pouring into him and like.
So when did this entanglement happen? What years? Because every time I've seen them all together, they've always been under this family thing.
But he was on the show too. He was on Red Table Talk 2 years ago.
So that's why I'm led to believe that they've always still been this big happy family, and to me that is weird. Like that was where I was like, sister, we gotta draw a line in the sand here.
Like we know, like we acknowledge open marriages and open relationships, but I think for a lot of people, the standard at which they held Will and Jada, they're disappointed in the reality of their relationship because so many people would always refer to them as goals, but like they don't want to be in an open relationship or they don't want to be in a polygamous relationship. So it's kind of just like now that the whole truth and not even like really any substantial stuff, because like you could see like the little, subliminal things in that interview where it was like, Will been on some stuff too. Like,
people definitely know that. And the running thing, like, the rumor in Hollywood is that he's also bisexual. So
so I feel like because it's in the forefront and we are given the access to like see a small like portion of the inner workings of their relationship, and now people are coming to terms with the fact that like what they want for themselves, it's like the disappointment plus like it's just like a real juicy story, like it's just like all of these things coming together
and we ain't got nothing to do
right
than to talk about it. So it's kind of just like I just feel like it's become a big thing because this is now what people expected from them. I feel like if this was just like a random couple, it really wouldn't be this whole thing.
People do that to celebrities all the time.
People would just take it for what it is. But because it's with data, y'all have goals, remember?
Right.
Now everyone's in an uproar. But it's like they told y'all.
They did tell us that they were together, but they wasn't in a romantic relationship like that. They did tell us that.
It's no longer based solely on love.
Romance,
Exactly. Like,
which I don't think
they know.
I mean, open or not, I don't feel like any marriage should be solely based on love.
Yeah. So I don't think anything was wrong with that statement either. Them agreeing that it's a lifetime partnership, and that they do enjoy each other's company. They do want to be with each other for the rest of their lives, but it's no longer, it's because I love you. It's because of other things.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything wrong with that either.
Another thing I wanted to say was that I also think it became a big deal because of how enamored August was with her.
Yes.
Because I would say when I think of an open relationship, I don't necessarily think of it as I think of it like you described, like me and you, boyfriend and girlfriend, we together, and then you just might got a side chick on the side. But I mean, if you had to choose, you're gonna choose me over her. He was in love, okay, and I don't think what she wanted out of the situation got translated to him.
Yeah.
Like they were not on the same page at all.
Yeah.
So it's just like, dang.
Okay.
Literally, he was ready to marry her. Hell.
Yeah.
Like,
Like Mr.
So that's the one thing I can see where, like, look, Jada, if you want to have your little side pieces, you gotta let them know, like,
Yeah, like it should not have gotten to this point where he was saying like he was ready to die for the people. Like that means he is too strong in. And you need to rein him back in. You need to get your
right.
I'm pretty sure Will was like, you need to get your niggas in check. Because my people don't be doing this kind of thing.
I bet Will was like, you see, my people was out here acting
right? My people be out here doing all this. You need to get them together. So like child. And also at first I felt bad for August, mainly because like, you know, during this time, the way that things were framed, he was going through a lot of things. Like he lost, his sister, so he ended up having he has guardianship over his nieces and nephews, or just might be his nieces. I can't remember what the gender of them are. He also has health issues. Like there's a lot going on. It's just like, dang, like that's really jacked up. I could see how him as a person was very vulnerable in that time, and why people were saying that she took advantage and she was manipulative and all that kind of stuff. But Jada even he went to come from.
Hold on, wait. Jada even admitted she was like that. She tried to heal him, like she was trying to be his healer. And I'm like,
and that's
you too old to be thinking you could do that.
Yes, and I feel like healing should not be
found in a person.
To heal the person, you should not also doing the things that you were doing, because things get muddy real quick. And you can see how things get crazy. And like I said, I was on his side. I was like, damn, Jada, that's messed up. Until he decided to go on Twitter and get rowdy rich with Miss Keke Palmer. And I
like Keke, she ain't done nothing to nobody.
And what she said,
didn't say anything wrong.
Did not say anything wrong.
She just said
everybody was like, yes, because someone tried to do this you tweet on her, and she said, yeah, that's me, but you're reaching because we're just friends. And I guess he got mad. I guess he thought she was gonna be like, oh my god. And she was like, no.
Maybe he was, let me see, I'm trying to play devil's advocate. Maybe he took it as she was saying that she literally would never fuck with anybody like him. And so then he was like, yeah, you can't fuck with me anyway, because remember what all your friends said, your friends did all this. Because I was like, oh my God. I completely agree with y'all, but maybe he took it as, because, you know, Jada and Will had already played him dust, like she didn't like him like that, and she was just smashing him. And so then here come another person saying, girl, don't nobody want August. And so he's like, oh no.
He's he's on the defense.
Maybe that's where all that came from. But he needs to go handle that with somebody else, not Keke.
Yes, handle that with the person that you're actually mad.
Right.
Because Miss Keke did nothing to you. And everybody was in the comments like, whoa, you need to calm down. Like, you need to down.
He was doing all caps and everything. And we were like, oh my God.
Mr. Keyboard Warrior.
For sure. Like,
oh my God.
And he went on a little rant and everything. It's just like, oh, never mind. I don't feel bad for you no more.
Talking about Keke was doing subliminals at him and all of this. Well, ain't nobody catch it. Nobody caught it.
Exactly.
We also
and if the shoe fits, wear it, princess.
Right. Nobody, like, we were not checking for you last week. We were all, I did see people when he first dropped his album, people were like, oh, y'all go listen to August.
The album?
Yeah, a few weeks ago. This is why he got that interview, and he has like a documentary on YouTube and everything too. So I did see people having remorse for him because he wasn't able to. He wasn't able to get his career off the ground because he got sick, his people dying. He just wasn't able to get as far as he possibly could have, and so now this is kind of like his comeback. And I guess this is all. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
I guess it really didn't work in his favor because people still not even talking about that album. But I did give at least a listen because I wanted to give him, like, this was prior to, I did give him a couple of listens just so he gets some streams.
Girl, your 5 cents ain't doing
he could get that.
Right.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, like, when people were like, oh my gosh, make sure you guys are streaming all the album. He's been through a lot. And I was like, you're right. Let me give him some listens. I pulled it up on my laptop. We was listening to that thing. Yeah, for sure. But other than that, no, thank you. And also, I want to talk about another toxic king that we deal with.
Future.
Everybody's talking to me like, oh my God, yes. Everybody's talking to me like,
How
oh
did I
my
know?
gosh. Oh my gosh, you guys are not talking
What
about
do you
toxic
do?
women. We talked about Miss Jada. I'm just talking in general. Talking about in general.
And to the listener, we do hate men like you, right?
Right, we do.
We hate men like you. Yes, sir, we do.
So we're gonna talk about Mr. Future, and he hasn't necessarily done anything recently, but everybody knows he is
But
the
his whole
toxic
life.
king.
I mean, he has the
His whole
whole
life
life
is-
baby mamas. Like, come on now.
His whole life is full of toxicity, and it's just like, at what point do you stop being toxic? Because I'm pretty sure
He about to be 40.
Navadius is too damn old to be acting like
Yeah.
that.
That man about to be 40 years old.
See,
Damn.
see,
I didn't know he was that
that's-
old. So that means
that's
he
too
was
much.
in his late 30s talking about something. I know I'm gonna get my bitch back. Oh.
Back. Oh.
Leave her alone. Leave her alone wherever. Damn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. That's Mr. Future. And just a PSA to everyone. If I suggest this to everyone, if he has multiple baby mamas, no.
Run.
No. Honestly, for me, if you have one baby mama, no. I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm
Well,
sorry.
y'all already know how I feel about that. Kids are out for me. Kids,
Just
no,
say
ma'am.
no.
No, ma'am.
No.
No, I'm not talking about that.
Honestly,
Like,
if you
at
wanna-
this
if you-
age, if you have multiple baby mamas, I'm gonna put a few things together in my head. One, you're not responsible.
Yeah.
Two, you really careless because like
My nigga, huh?
we 24, 25.
And
What
you
you
got-
been doing?
You got
Like,
kids with an X?
You know how like you hear about those dudes that really be having like a kid every year from the time they was like
Mhm.
15? Like that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
NBA young boy.
Especially when they the same. You got like Future can have multiple kids the same ages. His kids come in pairs from different girls.
Different
What?
women, and it's just like project babies, okay? And it's just like, why do you want them to live this life? Why? Because we know even if you had 2 kids, you being a celebrity, you're probably not giving them the attention that they deserve. So you have
Right.
1,200 kids. We know for sure you over here getting baby Future Rolexes.
What 5-year-old? What? What
Is it
5-year-old?
an investment, or I'm also upset. I will never forgive Sierra for naming that kid Future. But anyway,
But listen, I know all his baby mamas named his kid after some part of his music career.
And
Future
I don't
was
know
the beginning.
why.
Future was the first one. Baby Future was the first one. There's so many of them named after. They've got Hendrix. The one they got Rain, as in Purple Rain. There was another one, Legendary. She named her kid Legend Space Airy, Ary, as in legendary, as in the Legendary Nights tour, as in bitch, are you dumb?
Yes, she is dumb, and I don't I'm trying to figure out. Future must be.
what does he do?
And I can't see this. I don't see him being a chivalrous young man. Old man. I don't see him being. So I'm just trying to figure out why. How is he able to convince these women to have this much power to name their children that is relative to him in some way? They are always going to think about him when they call their kid's name.
I'm sorry, you could call me selfish, but I'm the one that's holding this kid, so I'm gonna get the final say on the name, and we not doing it. I'll talk to you about it and make you feel like you have a say, but at the end of the day, I'm naming this child. Like, you're not doing nothing but holding my legs and telling me to breathe.
Right. And sorry, it's probably not going to be a junior. 10 times out of 10, it's not going to be a junior. It's not happening.
If I like really, really love your name, like it just
it just
like,
it's not.
Chef's kiss, maybe, and that's still a strong maybe.
Yes, but it's still a probably no.
It's a strong maybe, but a probably no.
I'm naming this child pretty much by myself. But anyway, I just don't see it either. He's not the most handsome man in the world. I mean, he has money, but a lot of
people. But I mean, he ain't always had money. He ain't always
like I told y'all. My brother shares a baby mama with him. Funny, But
I know you lying to me. Well, do she get a big check? Do your brother got to pay a little bit?
Yes.
About her, and your brother got to give her a check too, because he can't do nothing.
I feel like Future Tech take care of everybody.
Right, exactly. I'd be like, "Are you sure? Are you sure you might check because
like
I need a check from you? What you mean?
you need to break me off for when I have him?"
At that point, but yeah, I just feel like I really don't get it. And then
they be hanging out
like when Lori Harvey,
They be hanging out. Future and your brother.
Girl, boo.
You know, baby.
So.
If anything, you should be asking, does Future hang out with his kid? And the answer is no. Anyway,
well, I figured that wasn't a question.
When Lori Harvey had got with Future, I was just like, okay, girl, like,
why she doing
like, you're like 23. This man has like 8
kids. I don't know how many he has. Let's see how many kids Future has.
And also, she started off so high on the totem pole. I don't know if people remember, she was engaged to a soccer player.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And it was fine.
The cutest thing. Like, I really want to know what happened.
Me too. Because when it came out, I think when she was dating Trey Songz or something, when it came out that it was her feet that was her rubbing on. Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, she's no longer engaged to the soccer player. I was like, oh dang, man,
yeah, that hurt
what
my
happened?
feelings. I ain't gonna lie.
And then I don't know if they're still together, but
he put a
Mr.
rock.
Wilborn, really?
He put a rock on there, y'all. Like, oh, goodness.
Mr. Wilborn, like, ladies. He's over here publicly bashing his most recent baby mama. I would never want to be with a man that is involving himself in women's business, that feels that he has to bash women. That is ghetto. That is women behavior.
I just couldn't.
Am I dating a girl or a boy? Because you acting like a girl.
You need to stop acting like a damn bitch. Nene told y'all to stop doing that, okay?
Peter.
Y'all need to stop.
Candy.
Literally everybody was just like, and everybody's looking at Cynthia like, I mean, is she gonna say something? She was just talking about her man.
She just called your man a bitch.
But I'm like, Cynthia probably was like, I tried to tell him.
He really didn't need a peach that season. He was getting on my nerves.
He was. I liked Peter at first, and then he come with the rah. Want to be a lady. He was trying to earn his peach, and I was like, sir, wives, not housewives. So you need to back up.
So, and I think I gotta say about Lori Harvey, it's talking about women being toxic. Women don't get the space to be toxic. Like they don't let it. They want to know why we don't condemn Lori Harvey. First of all, she's 20-something. She can be dating, and she's not finna date not rich people. Mm-hmm. Why would she date non-rich people? She's gonna. I mean, she doesn't have to. Once she chooses, she doesn't have to. But she's never gonna date you. You be standing on the corner every day. That's just not going to happen.
It's like, think about it. Normal day-to-day girls don't want to date broke men, so why would she want to date broke men?
Why would someone with money
making her type of money, but none of us about to date a broke man, so why
do you expect Oprah to date your dad? Hell no. So shut up. Like, come on.
God. Y'all are gold diggers.
Yeah, and then they also, for women, they also like to say anything that we do.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, true. Yeah. They like to say anything that we do is toxic.
All y'all got is bread.
Yeah. Nothing.
Okay? At best.
Not even. They don't be having nothing. They don't even take care of you. And they be like, she's wanting me for my money.
Right. They don't even take care of you, but they want you to be submissive. That is toxic energy. I cannot get denied. I will never.
On this topic, y'all should go check out for the listeners, what y'all do. Michael Todd's relationship goal sermon from last week. He talked about all of this like submission and all that, and how how these men be on Twitter talk about well, the Bible says that women should be submissive, and Michael said, are you worth being?
Are you giving me anything to be submissive to?
And y'all go listen to him, and he gonna break it down for y'all because y'all are confused.
All right. I'm gonna go back and listen because I got thrown off when he started eating all that food. I was like, okay, I gotta go.
Oh, the
And
cake.
then he was like, he like had ate all that stuff, and I was like, I gotta go do my homework. I was just like, why is he doing that? Why is he doing that?
That
Log
first
off.
cake was
I'm
good,
a
I
log
ain't
off.
gonna lie. Okay, let me.
Oh my gosh. Goodbye. I'm not about to play with her. But honestly,
Thanks
baby
for
want you to be
listening, guys.
submissive, and they don't be doing nothing. Like there's this popular video going around of this man came into her live saying that much makeup, and she's like, why are you telling me that I put on too much makeup? Can you be like a man and go die in a war or build something? Like, do your job.
Like go do
These
something.
men can't even build me a vanity if I ask.
Can't.
So why are you even out here trying to talk about the choices?
Exactly. You're expecting me to live up to 1950 standards, and you can't even do nothing in the 1950s.
50-50. You don't have no say. We roommates at that point.
Like
any jurisdiction over anything I got going on. If we
like
50-50, I'm sorry.
I don't understand. Like I understand people adopting this modern relationship kind of these modern relationship roles. That's cool. If you and your man want to split everything 50-50, that is great for you. Me personally, I would much rather not. I don't want to split. Like Morgan said, I don't want to be your roommate. I'm not saying that I wouldn't pay any bill. I'm not saying that.
I'll pay for the Wi-Fi.
I'll do groceries. I'll do electricity.
But a mortgage?
And I'll do cable, maybe.
I'm not paying no mortgage with you, sir. I'm not.
No.
I am not. You're not putting a roof over my head, and you want me to
clean up and wash dishes and have the kids do all of this shit?
You can't even provide the simple things of providing a roof over our head. At this point, I run you. I can tell you what to do at all times. Get out of here, because this is half of my house. Get out.
We're gonna have an episode about this, like, I don't know, like marriage expectations, or like, something like this, something along those lines of what a man should be, or what a husband should be.
I got a married friend who want to be on the she want to be on a podcast, so I can invite her.
Oh, that'd be nice. Married. Yes, because none of us are married, so that'd be perfect.
Yeah. And none of us really got a man.
So. Yes, exactly. We're all single, so the hell are we gonna be saying?
Well, listen, we can still put our opinions out there and what the Bible said, what you should be doing. And I just see a lot of y'all missing the mark. So maybe y'all just need a little push in the right direction of what you should be to your woman.
Yes. And then also, I want to kind of bring it back to being toxic. I just thought about this. So if you're Jametra and you don't think that you've ever been to anyone, you're just this amazing person. You're just butterflies and rainbows and cute little bunny rabbits. Think to yourself. You don't necessarily, if you don't believe that you've been toxic to anyone, that's fine.
You're lying.
But if you've been, actually not if, you may not have been toxic to someone else, but you have been toxic to yourself in some way. Because I'm pretty sure you have had failed relationships. And we're not going to sit here and say it was all to blame the other person, because we are adults here.
That goes to those people who be like, I prayed to God and I told God to remove everybody out of my life who's not supposed to be in my life, and then everybody started dropping like flies.
Right,
what?
Like
every single one of your friends, every single one left your life because they were toxic to you. They were not supposed to be in your life. Every single one.
Single one. No, come on. Let's be real with ourselves.
Believe that.
Exactly.
That happened it was a period in my life where I was like, damn, I do not have any friends. I had to sit and think to myself, okay, girl, what are you doing to why you don't have any friends? I mean, I didn't find anything wrong, but you just got to at least take those. I realize
we're working on her, guys.
No.
We will have an episode on self-realization and growth.
No. Okay, I'll say this because you got to start wrapping it up. I saw what had happened and I looked at everything, every situation, but I felt as though for me, it might have been things that I could come back from, like our friendship didn't have to end, but for me, it was a non-negotiable. It was just like, I don't really care about you that much. I I'm okay with not being your friend after this has happened.
Yeah.
And so even after sitting there and realizing, I was like, I wouldn't have changed a damn thing. So let me go to the club by myself.
Oh my God.
Exactly. And it's not like I was sad about it or anything. I just realized that's what happened. It is what it is.
And that just made me, realize that if you don't think you've ever been toxic to anyone, you have definitely been toxic to yourself. And you need to forgive yourself for allowing yourself to be in the situations that you've ever been in. I'm not saying this like in a victim blamey way. I'm just saying when you reflect on the things that have happened in your life, you should be able to come to some sort of realization that I did that to myself by allowing someone to treat me this way, or by allowing someone into my space, by continuing to allow someone to do the things that they were doing, even though I've expressed that I did not like it. In that sense, by continuing that, letting them continue any type of behavior that you found disrespectful, you were being toxic to yourself. And you just need to give yourself a hug and say you're removing that type of toxicity out of your life. You're removing the toxic self because you don't want that. We don't want that for ourselves. So
no.
That was just my little spiel, nothing crazy.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Yes. So make sure that you give us a rate. I always forget to say this. Make sure you rate us and leave a review because we need that. So, give us 5 stars, of course. Don't be out here giving us 1 stars. Like, I mean, if you feel if the Lord is guiding you to give you 1 star, sure. Not really, but we would prefer 5 stars and leave a nice review and tell us how you're feeling. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Not That Complicated Pod. You can keep up with everything that's going on in our lives. You can follow me at Sauxtejah, SEAUXTEJAH on Instagram.
And me on Instagram too at 2_ Jametra, Jametra.
And you can follow me on all social media platforms at MoAshCo. That's MoAshCo. Love to see it.
Boom.
See you there.
Right. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.